Tiverton Town Council meeting of April 13th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Joan.
Councilor Paull.
Present.
Councilor Janick. Present. Councilor deMedeiros.
Here, present.
Councilor Burk.
Present.
Councilors Edwards, and Milbourne are absent.
Okay.
Bilateral.
All right, so the first one we'll do is the assessor reevaluation. That's on page 4. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. So my budget is always pretty straightforward. It's pretty much level funded. If anyone has any questions, I'm obviously open to them. There's really no changes in my budget whatsoever, except for there is a slight increase in mileage, and that's just for the fact that fuel is going up and I am spending more time out on the road. I do have a town vehicle, and I do fuel up at the DPW department. There is an increase of $200 under the education and seminars. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule of some association webinars, there's a couple that I would like to take this year. So that's why there's the increase there. And
I just want to bring something up.
Sure.
You still have 830 remaining in education and seminars.
Yeah.
So will you be using any of that before July?
There is one webinar coming on up, and I believe the fee for that is $225. Outside of that, I probably won't be spending anything else. Out of that line item, association dues do come out of that, and I think there's one other one that's coming on up, but it's not that expensive. I think it's like $50, something like that. And lastly, the supply increase of $500 is just, everything is going on up. And like I mentioned the other night at the budget committee meeting, out of that line item, we purchased toner for my printer, and toner is pretty expensive nowadays.
So really, your budget went up $10,000.
And most of it's predicated on salary.
That's exactly.
Okay. I want to point this out so people know.
And just so, because I made this point the other night, it looks like Dave's getting a 10% increase. It's not, because that's really a 2-year incremental.
Yep.
It was in the council contingency for the first year. So when you slide that into the current year, it looks like it's an increase, but it really was out of the council contingency.
Okay.
And then just 3 line items I'd like to also address is the GIS web hosting, the updates, and the software maintenance. Those are all annual maintenance contracts that we have with those vendors, and those are fixed costs.
Any questions?
No, I think it was interesting during the budget meeting earlier this week when you talked about like the changes in revaluation, which actually that'll be under the next one. But if we can talk about that so people can understand, excuse me, how that's changed and like why you've made those changes.
Sure.
Any other questions? All right. Reevaluation. Now, this is a restricted account, so that... I'm just looking, I'm sorry. All right, so it's $50,000.
Yeah, so that $50,000 may decrease slightly. Like I mentioned the other night at the budget committee, and I'll be talking to Chris about this. As you know, with this revaluation, I've been out in the field a lot more, and I've been taking much more of an active role. So part of that function that I'm doing is being taken away from the revaluation company. So I do expect that our contract costs when we do these revaluations will decrease a bit. How much, I have no idea. So I'm going to do more of an analysis on that. But the $50,000 is a good placeholder as far as funding that restricted account, because out of that account, we pay for all of our revaluations, especially the full revaluation. When we do a full revaluation, the cost of that is 100% on the community. The updates, like the one we're doing currently and the next one, the state does reimburse us 60%. One thing that when I first kind of came to town, there was not an annual appropriation for this restricted account. We weren't budgeting. So whenever we did a revaluation, it was like a big hit. So we started budgeting on an annual basis. So when I was doing that spreadsheet, I didn't factor in large appraisals such as the power plant. So that's going to cost us another $50,000 somewhere down the road. So now I'm factoring that into this schedule.
But in that account right now, you have $100,000,
Correct.
and that's restricted.
That's
So that's not
restricted.
gonna be- So you need 100 plus that 50? You need
Well-
50 more?
Well, no, I don't need 50 more because that's part of this number. So every year we're getting 50, 50, 50, 50. So that's building up the kitty. So we're going to do another update in 2.5 years, and that's going to cost us roughly $80,000 out of our pocket after the state reimburses us. And then 3 years after that, we're going to have to do a full revaluation, which is going to be $300,000.
Right, so what I'm saying is, are you gonna spend any of this 100,000 between now, no, and the
No.
next budget year?
No.
So can we reduce this number considering what you got in?
Because again, we're building up towards that full revaluation.
Right, so what
That full
does it-
revaluation is going to cost us 300. We only have 100
All
in
right.
here right now.
All right, I'm just asking.
How much does the state reimburse on a full waiver?
Nothing.
No.
Zero.
That's, okay, because under the line item of expense budget actuals, it says reevaluation equals consulting services.
It does.
Okay, so, okay.
But we used to not budget.
No, you don't have this, I asked for this,
Why wouldn't we get that?
because no one asked for it.
But that's part of the back.
I'll get a copy for you.
You want to get, yeah, you want to get a copy? Yeah.
But we used to not budget every year for like reevaluation and election. And then we would get hit with it in the year that we had that event happening.
Right.
So we decided to just do a portion of it each year so that it kind of stayed steady and we didn't take the big hit in the year of the big election or the revaluation.
Yeah, because when I first got here, I think we were just coming off of an update, and then we had to do a full reevaluation, and there's no money for that. So in that budget year,
should
you had to
get these
appropriate
to
$300,000.
This is a whole nother thing that I asked for. This is the revenue. Oh, yeah. I think like this.
Poise.
We're using toner. We're using toner. Making
Toner.
copies.
I'm sorry, I just had to give him the actuals that I got yesterday to go over. All right, so, any questions regarding this right now? No? David, Deb, Mike?
Sense to leave it at that funding.
Yeah, I just had to ask the question because I saw what I saw and I wasn't, I guess I do remember that, but. All right, the tax collector, thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Chris is gonna do, Tony's part in this. Oh, he just texted me, that's where he is. I thought it was next week, Johnson.
He went with his parents then.
Yes, he did. I'm just gonna wait for Chris.
There's a table on the wrong side, I apologize.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, you're right.
That's fine.
All right. Tax collector, you're gonna do that, right, Chris? That's page 5.
He's getting the other thing.
Yeah. She's on page 5. I think I have poison ivy.
Oh, don't touch me.
I'm not sure. Probably not. Probably not. Sorry, everyone. Just like a week or 2 weeks updated.
Thank you.
All right, tax collector.
So, she is on her way to Italy right now, so she had,
She
she
had,
confirmed something for me just before she went away. So in her line item 6673, that's gonna increase to 22,500 because the price of stamps went up and the price of printing the taxes went up. I know it's not on there, it's the 17,100 number,
Yeah.
okay. So that's gonna go up to what?
22,500.
So her actuals are very low, though.
They are.
Yeah.
Why?
Can you, because there's 2 different lines, and I know
So
she
there's-
talked
so
about that.
The postage you're talking about, so the
Yeah.
postage, the regular postage, the 2,400, she sends out delinquent notices, and she mails stuff out all year long on trying to collect taxes. The 17, or the 22,500 is the actual tax bills and mailings of the tax bills. So she, you know, for somebody, she does a fabulous job. She collects between 96 to 98% of our revenues every year. I mean, and then she goes back and tries to get all the delinquent stuff as best she can. She does a very good job of it. She's continually active doing that.
Yeah, why is that so low, though, at this time of the year? I know we sent the first notices out late, so that would affect it, but
So I don't know, I didn't look at the,
it's, so she's budgeted
I-
for 18,925, and she's spent to date,
What are you looking at,
oh, wait,
Mike?
maybe I'm looking at the wrong item. No, remaining balance is 18,925. I'm looking at what he just gave us.
Page 3 of the expense budget to actual.
Right.
I was just gonna give myself a copy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hasn't sent out,
When the notices have been sent out, so I
You're
just don't know
right.
why it's not showing here.
I don't know. I would assume that it's, I don't know how much it is here, so.
So she was budget 18,925, and it shows nothing spent.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. Well, yes, it does, because when,
They charge all at once for the.
right, because the tax bills are going out July 1st,
They'll go out in June.
June.
They don't go out quarterly?
No,
Oh, I thought they did. Okay.
No, they go out once.
I don't deal with that, my wife does.
she's probably at home saying,
Okay.
Mike.
All right, that
All
answers
right,
that question.
That answers that question. All right, so her increase would be a little more than,
So the increase will be 181,845, I mean, the total will be
181.
181,845.
And once again, this is like a $10,000 increase, and that is for that's basically salaries, really.
Yep. And obviously the tax sale is, I mean, for $2,000, it's basically all just advertising. And she does very good with that too. She'll start with like 50 properties and get it down to about 3. And some of those are on that day.
Any questions? All right. Senior Center, page 12. We have the the director here. And you actually went up $2,000 from last year.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry, I was calculating.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not asking for too many things. Most of it's because of inflation. The cesspool company that we had been using, the price used to be under $800. Now it's over $1,000. So that's why I asked for the increase in the maintenance. And we do need to pump it a little bit more often. We have more people, and with the rain.
Which is good.
We've been finding it's in need of pumping a little more frequently. So that was one increase. The other one was the electricity. Also, the bills have been gone up, so I asked for an extra $500 into the electrical, an extra $25 or so for the water, because that also seemed to have gone up. And the telephone increase I'm asking for because I would like to upgrade our telephone system to an IP system, which will have a little more expensive monthly cost. So right now, it's about $50 a month. It's going to go up based on the amount of phones we have, which we hope to increase it from 3 phones to 5 phones in the building. Right now, we only have the 3 working phones, and we only have we have a 2-line system, but it doesn't really work like it's supposed to, so it's more or less like a 1.5-line system. But we wanted to turn it into, either, I've got 2 quotes going right now. I'm trying to go back and forth which one makes the most sense for us for an increased IP system, basically, a computer telephone system, which would have more bells and whistles. Like ours, we don't have anything in it, like you can't leave an outgoing message, or we don't even have an answering machine, which I don't mind that so much, but it's the other things which are kind of nice, if we could, leave a outgoing message or something,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So those are the main increases that I'm asking for. I would love to give my bus driver a raise and my afternoon assistant a raise, like a quarter each. I don't know if that's in a discussion at this time, or if that's something separate I should look into.
Oh, we can talk about it. Your assistant director went up,
Well, yeah, no, she's
just-
not her, the
Not her.
afternoon one that's paid through the grant. It's on a grant, so it wouldn't come directly through the town, it's through the designated grant, but I know I still have to ask for an increase. I'm not sure exactly how that goes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I don't know is I haven't done the math on, will the grant be able to sustain all of it? That's, is the town gonna wind up picking up something either on bike or,
but that would be the afternoon, which isn't listed here, right?
That's under the grant, yeah,
Okay.
and that wouldn't be till July 1st when the new grant comes, to do the math and all that stuff, but.
And how about the bus driver?
The bus driver, I would like to see his be able to go from 15.50 an hour to 15.75, starting July 1st. He'll be here, well, he's been here just a year now, but I would like to see that if possible, bring that up.
So that,
And he averages about 31 hours per 2 weeks. He works 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there are no benefits other than that, but I would like to see if we could give him a little bonus.
what do you all think?
I do hear positive feedback.
Oh, well, you know who it is, right? And they all love him.
Oh, yeah, he's been very good. He's been
It's
very
Paull
good.
Anderson.
Yeah. No, he's a character.
Oh, they love him. So,
For a quarter increase, that's what it would be. 201.50 cents.
okay.
What is it, Mike?
201.50 cents.
So that would be added to here? No, because that's just a quarter you said, or?
Yeah, so she wanted to go from 15.50 to 15.75, so that's a quarter.
Yeah,
So
oh,
it
you're
comes
right.
out to
201.
31 times 26 times a
Yeah.
quarter.
Exactly. That's what I was doing when you called me. I was trying to do the math on my phone.
So if we,
So it'll be 12,702?
yeah, is that, we can take like a preliminary,
700?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can take like, if everyone's in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a preliminary kind of. I have a question. Why didn't your salary go up?
So I haven't done our evaluation yet, but that would be on the council contingency anyhow.
Okay.
I would love that, but, you know, I don't know.
No, it's everybody else department head is going up, so.
I haven't done hers yet.
All right, so
Good question.
it is a good
Even I
question.
noticed, I said, another one I haven't done yet.
Yeah. All right, so that line item will be transferred,
That would be the council contingency.
so it's already there.
Yeah, that-
It's even, okay.
So that brings the bottom line. Do we do it
Yeah.
a flat 12.7, right? Or do you-
Yep,
No, I thought that's what we said. So-
Yeah.
So it's 136,837.
no, I'm looking, everyone was going up but you. I thought you were doing pretty good, but I
Don't get me wrong.
There might be one or two more.
Any questions?
No, I think everything's, have you guys got a chance to see the new look at the center yet?
I haven't.
You gotta
Yes.
come visit. We're having a craft fair 2 weeks from today, in between your meeting
All right.
that day. Stop in and you
Okay.
can see our,
So what time does the fair go to?
it goes just till 2. 9 to 2.
And also, we got your request for the casino, not the casino money, the
ARPA.
Power plant.
the
Okay.
power plant money. And that will be presented, I think it's a good idea, so.
Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of, it's more a cosmetic-y kind of thing, but I think it'll make the room, it's very dusty because of the,
It's basically to fix the foundation
Yeah.
around,
It's just kind of
around the,
crumbling. I don't think it's
you don't-
structurally a problem, I just think
Dust.
it's dust.
and then she can utilize the downstairs.
Exactly.
More of an
Use that
activity
more.
room, so we
Would
did
be
get a
nice.
request from her to do that. so.
Nice, well, we had
Just-
asked for that, too.
Yeah, we had asked for you to, we wanted to put a little bit into the seniors
Thank you.
with that money, so I thought that was a good idea.
No,
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
guys, have a good one.
Take care.
Come and visit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try next week.
All right, thank you.
And those still?
Yeah, we're gonna do Sue, because Rick's gonna be long. Recreation. And I'm gonna do town sergeant too, after that.
Good morning.
Recreation is page 14.
And I provided you with sort of some backup, which gives
Yeah, four-
rationale behind
No
it.
page
I have
14.
it 15.
No, the page numbers on this one are at the top. On the actuals, it's at the top.
No, I'm looking at this.
Oh,
You have it on page 14, Deb?
I have it on 15.
yeah, 15.
I have a much different looking thing than you have.
Depends on who printed it out and when.
That's why I'm,
That's why it's helpful that everybody have every.
So
Yeah.
the backup for it has a summary that
how did I
matches.
get a different one? I don't know.
The numbers didn't change though, but I don't believe.
This was in my mail, so this is like, I
This
don't
was
know.
in my mailbox.
Yeah, I don't know why I have a different one. You know what, Chris? Okay. I have no idea because I've lost one. All right.
So just one sort of administrative note on the version that was in the town council packet is if you look under community events, the number for community special events and events coordinator, those are actually reversed, $200 difference in it, but events coordinator was requested at 12 and the community special events was requested at 11.8.
Oh,
So not a huge
that's
deal.
my fault then.
No, it's all good. Just wanted to.
All right, I don't remember to fix that then.
So I'm happy to answer questions about why we're requesting what we are, but I just want to say I think over the last couple of years, we've worked to try to get recreation to a point where we feel like we're offering the best possible programs compared to other municipalities, and that we're getting our beaches up to a level where the way that we handle parking passes, the online registration system, all these things are allowing us to be more efficient. And I want to first thank the council for the support of that. I mean, you can see it in what the year over year has been. We're at the point right now that our needs from a recreation commission standpoint are really more in the capital space perhaps. I think what we are is we're running at a level where the programs are efficient, they're doing well, we're getting good support from the community to offset some of what we're doing. So we're very pleased with where we are. There is one other note that I will offer, and it's my mistake for when we put it in. The numbers in here for the hourly rate for gate attendants at the beaches and for camp counselors reflects the minimum wage from last year, which was $13 versus $14, which is the current one. So in total, the difference would be $2,700 for camp counselors and $1,200 for gate attendants, which is a total different number of $3,900. What I might propose is, again, we're trying to be as close to level funding on this for rec as we can. We might have some flexibility in what we've requested for events if you're looking for an area to balance that out, but
So you would need to add 39 to this
to those
144.
two areas, yeah. We had just put it in based on prior numbers.
Because otherwise, you're coming in under last year's budget.
Yeah.
Correct.
And doing more.
Trying to.
We still haven't hired
Can you just tell me what line items they need to be in?
Yep, so under seasonal employees, so beaches, seasonal employees, that would be an additional 1,200 on there. And then under summer recreation, the second line down, camp counselors, that would be the additional 1,200.
You said 39 though, total.
Between the two, the 27 and then the 1,200, so 39.
Oh, so the top one's 27, I'm sorry.
27, yeah. It represents a total difference.
Okay. Well, so 27 plus 41, 520, 1,200 plus 35, 100. Okay, I'll fix that.
There's a decrease on the online and credit card processing.
Yep. So if you look, there was actually in here, there were two different line items, one under summer recreation and one under Parks and Rec. And when because it was the first year we had utilized that, we were anticipating that both of those numbers would be applied. We are actually, the online credit card and processing, it's decreased now. We won't need that full amount. And speaking with Denise, the $500 is in there is, I think that what we're looking at is it's sort of a maintenance fee relative to it. So, yeah, that won't go back up.
We still haven't, I don't know, when I went to the mailbox, you mentioned it, but we still haven't hired a Parks and Programs coordinator.
No, they're in the middle of interviewing for several people. One of the things that we are going to look at doing is that for the summer concert series last year, which is still within the same budget cycle, we're going to see if we can apply some of the funding against what we spent for those people. And then going forward, absolutely, this will be the first year we'll have a full person. I would anticipate through the end of this year that we will still be able to allocate about 80% of that, but we won't end up using all of it.
So you just made a statement that some of the credit card fees with $500 you'd be using.
For next year, and speaking with Denise, she wanted to keep a number in there, sort of as the,
So can we
it's not
put the number
for,
again? Because it looks like we're wiping it out.
well, it's under summer recreation, online registration system.
Okay.
Comes out to, it's staying again at $58.60.
Okay, all right.
So the $500 is sort of,
It's in there.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah. And the distinction and why it's in two different places is we were looking at it both from permitting and selling permitting's not the word, but selling beach passes online versus the summer camp registration. And something Joan and I have been going back and forth is seeing if we can use the town's permitting system for that instead.
So my concern was that you thought there was like something left over at the end of the year that would carry forward. That doesn't, I just wanted to explain that.
No,
doesn't work.
understood.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, I upped my salary by 200% too. So.
But no event
it's
supplies?
granted.
No
Free
event
to free.
supplies? Did you already explain that?
We're in a good space. So event supplies, when we went into it last year, we were anticipating buying equipment that we would need for like a movie series. And what we found by speaking to other municipalities is they said, don't do it, it's the worst idea ever. So there are some places where event supplies, there are things that we are going to purchase for recreation to prepare us for next year, but we don't need to spend the money on what we were potentially initially anticipating, just because it seemed like a smarter route to go not to.
Any questions?
Did I see a line on here for septic, or am I?
There is under beaches, bathroom pumping and maintenance. And one of the things that I'll commend Director Rogers for, we do go back and forth about how we're trying to move more of the maintenance related things into his purview because rec only meets once a month. And if we have to wait to vote on things, I don't know how many people want to wait to get septic fixed.
Well, my question there though would be relating to the senior center. Do we use the same company? Because it sounds like she calls when she needs it.
No, so when you get porta potties, a lot of them are porta potties, the vendor that has the porta potties is different than like getting A&D or something.
Yeah, but I'm talking about septic. Yeah,
Yeah, so they're different companies.
but the beach is septic.
The beach is a system, so is,
Oh, I thought.
We do have a line item in here for bathroom pumping and maintenance, and that was related to
Okay.
beaches, but I
I'm
don't.
assuming we use the same vendor then. But when we make a call there and down here, I'm pretty sure we use the same vendor all the time.
All right, I'm just wondering, because if we're not, then we could probably save by using the same.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we use the same vendor.
I don't know if Rick would know that. but-
Rick, when we do septic pumping, whether it's for Grinnell's, Senior Center, Fogland, do we use the same vendor?
Where are they finding septic pumping? Where are you finding septic?
Under miscellaneous operate.
When we call them, we call the same guy.
That's what I
It's
thought.
the bottom line on the second page of.
I just wondered,
We
because
don't-
it's something different.
yeah, we don't have a contract, he's just billing us at his normal rate,
It
right?
doesn't say septic, Denise, it says bathroom.
We have a low bid.
Oh, we do?
The town council award.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so whatever his reduced rate is for the,
Because we're not duplicating efforts.
No, we're not. This is so lucky.
Anything else? Okey dokey.
Thank you all.
I will get you your pickleball calendar.
I look forward to that.
But you've been dying for that.
Were you the one that put the list of Jewish holidays in the mailbox? Someone
Nope,
did? It's actually
wasn't
really
me.
cool. Very excited about that, actually.
Who did
Thank you,
that?
everybody.
Thanks, Sue.
Just to recap, Seasonal employees would be 44,220. Camp counselors would be 36,300. And then the amounts for the community special events and the event coordinator would be reversed.
And then the total will be 148,530.
I was going to suggest giving the town sergeant a little bit of a raise. All right, town sergeant. You don't have to come up. I was going to suggest we put a little bit of a bump here. We haven't raised it. And we have a lot of meetings lately. And our town sergeant shows up to all of them. So maybe bring it up to, what do you want to bring? I'm on page 3. Aren't I? Yeah. We increased it last year, but it was a different person. The thing is, we have a lot of meetings. So what would you like to bring this up to? Chris, do you have a suggestion? 2,000.
What are the council members at? You start.
Oh, the council members are a lot higher than that.
12.
What?
24. 24.
Madam President,
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention that the town sergeant does help us out with elections, bringing
And there's
stuff
a
up
bla-
to Cranston, which is a real hassle right now with the bridge. So,
I think we really, 2,000.
Yeah, that's fair.
One-
Every meeting we're here.
Yeah, well, he
Plus-
doesn't have to do all the homework, but,
I was saying, that's
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want to go up to 2,000? Is that all right with everyone?
Fine with me.
Okay.
I think so.
You just got a raise
Not yet, not yet.
in July. Yeah, sure you can come up.
I really appreciate it. And as a lifetime resident of Tiverton, except for about 12 to 15 years, I lived in New Hampshire for my work. When I was president of my union, we hit tough times, we had to take concessions. I appreciate the raise. I'd rather stay at the what it is now, and I challenge every department head in this town to take a 1% cut in pay.
Yeah, I just have, I don't know if the town department head should take a 1% rate.
I know the trouble we're having with the school
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and I'm a firm believer in lead by example, and I'm not a leader here, obviously, but
Oh,
one little drop starts a ripple, and that's my challenge, my personal challenge to everybody in this town. Thank you.
Thank you.
so you want to stay at 1,000?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, and I totally respect that. Can we do something, do we do mileage or anything where he's going, if he's going to Providence and across
He
the
doesn't want
bridge?
it, he's like, he doesn't, that's fine. I appreciate it. All right. Rick, you're on. Public works, street lights, hydrants, rubbish, landfill, building maintenance, parks, and maintenance mowing.
Did you compare budgets last night?
I've compared budgets, sir. I thank you.
I made a number of cuts to this budget.
I know you did, I saw that. Well, Rick likes saving money.
He does well, I wouldn't say, Rick is very, very good
Frugal.
I say he's frugal, and Dearman, I say that.
Thank you. And I appreciate Chris's hard work and trying to make the budget work.
I just, what page did I say?
So street
10.
lighting's
10, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 10 is where it all begins. No, yeah. Turned. Well, at least we gave you a raise. All right, so salaries, the only increase in that,
Those are all in council contingency
yeah,
right now.
yes. But that's all in,
They're
okay.
all in council contingency right now, whether it's
The
starting.
council
FY 25
contingency for this budget.
For this budget.
Okay, I got you. Because, why I'm asking is because the maintenance worker, we are about ready to settle that, so that's gonna be a raise. But it's in council contingency.
I will say we worked very hard yesterday, we were extremely close, and we'll give you an update when I can get time in front of you.
Okay.
So if that goes through before we approve this, we can kind of move that around, or,
Well, it's in council contingency of last year's budget.
that's right, never mind.
Yeah. All right. Anything you want to say about salaries? You're okay with that?
Yeah, no, I believe, as Chris said, everything's in contingency, except as, noted for there, in that, well, are we only on 5540 right now, right? We're not on 50?
No, 55-40.
Okay,
55-40.
all right, because there's salaries and other ones too. Okay, thank you.
All right, operating expenses, uniforms, snow removal. I can-
Yes, and I noticed that was cut, and I appreciate Chris and the town council's need to, fit everything into the budget. I like my number better, and it's based on the math that I do, and the fact that we've been blessed a couple of years with not a lot of snow events, but nobody can guarantee that going forth, so I have to show what I think is going to be, a prudent number. But again, as I said, I respect the fact that we have to make the balance, the
I'm trying to-
budget balance.
Are you looking at the actuals?
Yeah, 27,333.
Right, because we had no snow
We
practically.
had no snow.
And next year we can get walloped, but I mean, that's a huge swing.
Wait a minute,
But-
what? I'm trying to look at, wait,
Also, we're working to get more of the independents, because we need to have people available to plow, because we can't, have excessive work hours by the DPW employees. So we've been working towards that. A few years ago, we had 0, or maybe we had 1, and we've built it up, and we want to continue to do that, so we have a safe roads.
So what expenses exactly, this gets to Councilor Edwards' question from the last time, we know that sand and gravel is a separate,
it's only, it's,
so what expenses are in the snow removal?
Snow removal includes the drivers of DPW vehicles that are not employees. It includes the independent equipment and their drivers. It includes things like contractual food during events.
but that's not a restricted account.
I believe it is not.
No,
Okay.
no. And that's everything?
The little miscellaneous
Yeah.
things too.
So any overtime by our employees goes into the overtime?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct,
Okay,
Mike.
I just want to separate those out.
The biggest expense is being able to have drivers to help.
Yeah.
And independence.
So what were you saying, Dave? It's a big,
So the actual is
The original budget,
27,300.
100,000, budget transferred 50, revised budget 50, actual 27,000. Remaining balance 22. And the request is for 125.
Yeah, and I'm happy to go through the numbers if you wish.
What was your request?
My request
125.
was, well, your request was 125, mine was 184.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm looking at dropping that 125.
All right, so we transferred money last week
Right.
out
Yes.
of here. because we haven't had a lot of snow.
We did.
I'm almost thinking if we,
Transfer 50.
like, if, we talked about it last year, but I don't know, snow removal, it may be a good idea to make that a restricted account.
Oh, there's a lot of accounts we can restrict. Capital for fire apparatus.
No, but if you, yeah, but there's no capital.
I'm saying certain amounts every year.
But this one, the small, snow removal,
It's one that can have wild swings.
it can
too.
have
That's
wild
one-
swings.
That's why we have
That's why
those
we do the
restricteds.
paving too.
So kind of
Because,
sort of like the reval account, where you have a steady amount, but then you keep,
But it keeps holding.
because, right, yeah,
Not to exceed a certain amount.
remaining balance. 22.
But if it's restricted, we can't pull from it.
Right.
We don't have it not to exceed. What we do is during the budget time, when we look at what they ask, we decide, well, you already have 200 in there, let's
Right.
not put anything
Put
else in
zero,
there.
right.
Put zero. And we do that.
into it.
You can
Can't transfer out.
yeah, you can transfer into it. I'm thinking because we are having these swings, that maybe we should try to make that a restricted account.
I will say snow is the most
Predictable.
unpredictable issue that we can deal with, and we can't strip it down to a point, because we looked at this year and we say we only did what we did, and next year two real storms can wipe that out. We had a lot of ice events where we're out sanding or salting, we really had no snow to speak of.
So maybe we should talk to Mike and see if we can get some men up to make, you see what I'm saying, Rick? It would help you in the long run.
No, I understand.
I think you wanted it last year, right? Didn't you?
Well, I like the idea, but I don't want it where it's cut, so I don't have anything in
No,
there.
so
No,
what
no,
I,
no,
I think what we'd look at is whatever, let's use Chris's number, 125, because I think 180 is a little more than what we can do. But, and we split it. So 75 in the regular budget this year, 75 into the restricted, and then that regular budget gets lower as that restricted goes up, or if we have to replenish more because we have a hell of a winter, then we do that.
Yeah,
Is that what you were thinking?
Exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
and the advantage too is, it's not just okay, we're having the other drivers. By having people use their own trucks, we lessen the amount of trucks we have to buy and maintain, and that's pricey. So, thank you.
Can I just ask you though, so if we have someone who comes in and they drive our truck, it's a contract, a non-employee drives our vehicle, and they're paid a certain rate, is it a different rate for someone who comes in with their own vehicle, non-employee with their own vehicle?
Yes, it is, Deb, and we use the rates that Rhode Island DOT uses.
Okay, I don't think I
It's based on-
realized,
It's based on weight of truck. There's a schedule that DOT has.
okay.
It runs from $66 up to $130, but I don't think we have a 59,000 gross vehicles truck, so.
I didn't realize that we had non-employees driving town-owned trucks.
We-
I
we-
don't think I
We've
realized
talked
that.
about that
Yeah, it's
before.
covered under our umbrella.
Yeah,
We've done
Okay.
that for years.
yeah.
Okay.
Even I've done it.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just gonna say that, but I didn't know if you wanted me to. The town administrator's been driving the truck too.
There was couple of storms that they had, where they worked like 20 hours and they were just wiped out, and they still had like a section over here that they needed, so they asked me if I would do it.
Oh, that's fine.
And I did all over here for them.
Should've called me.
And
I
it's,
didn't know that.
and it's one of the big reasons why we need independents and other drivers.
So, the other thing though too with this 125 number, that's for independents only. So like you just said, all of our employees to be on the road plus overtime is already accounted for.
Right.
This is increasing the number for privates.
So how many privates do you generally use for a, let's say, a moderate snowstorm?
We might have 3 drivers, and we want to have 6 or 8 independents, but we haven't been able to find them. So we've been beating the bushes. And a couple of years ago, we had 4. This year, I think we only had 2 because 2 of them dropped out.
Right. Yeah,
So-
because it's actually, you're hiring them, so to speak, for the whole season, so that.
Right.
So you're bringing all 6 in, if you have 6, for the snowstorm.
Right, and
Yeah.
the only way it works, Mike, as you were saying, is nobody will commit to work for you if you say, well, we'll call you once in a while. It doesn't work.
The same thing can be said for the snow events too. Right? I wanna come work for you. Well, it doesn't snow the whole season, you call them in once.
Yeah.
They're never gonna come.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why we're trying
Me
to.
personally, I would see that, I'd love to see that cut back down to 100,000, but I'm a little full.
Well, what I'm thinking of, if we do a resolution, we couldn't, it would be for next year, so we couldn't swing this 22 into it now.
So you could ask in that resolution to carry forward the balance every year in
Because
that restricted account.
Because if we swung the 22 into it now,
Yeah, then you do
then
100
you could go 100.
and split it.
Yeah,
So one here would be 50, and then we, in the restricted account, we just have two separate lines here. One for restricted, right?
The restricted was showing a different accounting system. but-
Okay.
yeah, it's a different, because, like, if you look at paving right now, which is,
Right, that's what I'm saying, because the restricted shows here, that's why I just assumed that.
that's
if we
the
add
only,
it, it was-
that's the only account.
Right,
So the whole thing would be restricted, basically.
The whole thing would be restricted, right,
But he can spend out of the restricted with the resolution.
okay, okay, I see.
yeah.
It's no different than
Yep,
the
yep, yep.
revolve account, right?
Yep.
That we show that every year in the budget. Dave gets to expend out of it when we award the contract for whatever that is.
We just can't, we can't transfer it to
Right,
another.
can't transfer out of.
Do you
the
agree
funds
making
transfer.
that a restricted?
I think it's a
Okay.
good idea. Thank you. And it's nice to bear in mind, I understand, appreciate David's comments, but we don't pay the maintenance, we don't pay the fuel, we don't pay to buy it. The independents, a great support to DPW.
But that was three guys that drive our trucks that wear and tear our trucks, and that was only one or two in their own trucks.
We
So-
have, as mentioned, though, we're working and we have been working towards getting more
Last
independents.
year we had
The
six.
sign's still over at the parking lot.
I
I
know.
drive by every day.
But last year we had
But
six drivers.
it's like that everywhere.
All right, so we can decrease that to 100,000.
Well, I'd rather not, it's already been decreased by my math.
Yeah, I know,
From
but
184.
you've got too much in there, Rick.
Well, not if we
Like,
have a
we've-
lot of snow events, and if we get the independence we want.
Then we have
Well,
council contingency.
Then we have council contingency, because we already transferred 50,000 out of there, and you still had 22,666. And I know it wasn't a big snow event,
It's this whole private thing, but it's a whole other-
so, I don't know, what do you all think? Decrease that to 100, or wait?
I stick with decrease it, but I'm one person.
As long as, you see what I'm
I-
saying?
Yeah, I think we can decrease it.
And this isn't final, so we can come
This
back
isn't
and
final, we
say,
can come
no, we're
back."
gonna add it.
It's also another $500, it's $25,000.
So,
That's a lot
I,
of money.
so,
I
it-
respect it, what's that?
but if it snows, we're gonna plow. We're
Yeah.
not gonna say, well, we don't have the money in the budget. We're gonna plow and we're gonna figure out later where it comes from.
All the complaints about garden nights are all null and void at this point. The snow's melted.
So,
So that it expresses the need for the independence, as David just mentioned about complaints. And I respect the council's
We can start
position,
small
but
and then see what we have.
you're only gonna have about 4 independents at
There's
100.
other money around.
And that's not what
No,
we're looking
what
to
you
get.
do is hire the independents you can, and we'll take some of it out of somewhere else, council contingency.
we're trying to replace
Like,
our
like, if you can
No,
get,
we're not, and I know that's a rub, but there's some history to this.
there is.
I understand some of it, I'm just saying, I mean,
We
well,
have
maybe
not,
there's
we have
200,000.
not taken any work away from our regular staff. We are trying to make it safer for them. Some of these guys, like I said, when they're working 20 hours and there's nobody to help bail them out, having contractors is a godsend to them. They may not like it because they're losing some overtime, but we're also making it a safer environment for them.
I get that part.
And other communities use contractors. That's part of our problem with not getting contractors, because they're working in other
But
communities.
we have assured the staff, we have not laid anybody off.
Oh, no, and we talked about it during negotiations, too.
And prior to the change of the rule, prior to myself being at DPW, where the rule went into effect, we weren't calling them except with 3 inches or more. There were, the people who've been at DPW a while have told me there have been anywhere from 12 to 18
Yes.
independents. So this is a historical We've been using
When I lived
independence
up
for years.
I used to have the kid up the top of the street, just do like, just that area, like probably 4 blocks. And somebody else would do the next 4 blocks. Guys,
It's also when it snowed 4 times a week.
But we don't know, that's one thing about the snow removal.
We just don't
It's so unpredictable. Chris, does that sound okay to you
I'm
if
fine
we
with it.
restrict it?
The only assurance I wanna hear is, and kind of what Deb said, it snows, we're gonna plow.
Yeah, we're gonna
We're
plow
gonna
and we'll
find
get the money.
later if we run out of money. It is what it is. That's just the nature of what we're gonna do.
We transfer all the time and,
I'm not worried about that.
we
We
look
will
at
find money.
actuals all the time and Chris finds ways to transfer money into accounts.
Thank you.
All right, so,
All right, I'll call you.
construction supplies, I'm just gonna go down this if that's all right with everyone. That just went up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Are
I'm
you
just
looking,
following.
okay. Tree removal. Okay. Equipment repair. If there's anything you want to say, chime in. Equipment repair.
Rick, has there been any increase in the need for tree removal with all the heavy storms we've had?
Our hiccup, Mike, is getting the guy who's so busy to cut trees.
Okay.
We think we're okay with the number we've done, but it all depends on the number of storms.
Yep,
I
and
hate
and
that-
the intensity of the storm.
Yes.
So can we also, I know we have some monies left over in sand. I don't know if we got room to hire, get more sand in before the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm heading that way.
Oh, I thought you were there.
No,
No,
we're
I
still in
went back to tree removal.
Now, tree removal, you still have some in that account right now.
Yes, and I don't pester him, but I certainly talk to our man to try to get over there.
It's not only him, I have a tree in my backyard that's been down, I can't get somebody, so.
No, so you still have trees that are waiting to be taken care of?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have tons of them off.
Yeah, okay.
Trees are a big problem right now.
It really is. Everywhere.
They're great.
Equipment repair, no big, that didn't go up. You did go up a little. How is your equipment right now? We did a lot of different things last year.
Well, our hiccup is the things that need repair. We're working on estimates. We think we're gonna be okay, but we'll have to come before the council if we have anything that's large. For instance, the sweeper, again, needs some repairs, so. But the number that I've projected is okay.
Yep. Shopping, okay, now sand and gravel, this is where Chris was looking at.
Yes, and when I did
We-
my number, and again, I understand Chris cut it, but my math is shown in my backup data, and it's basically just based on the amount we use, for instance, in fiscal year '22, and then the prices with an adjustment for inflation. And that's where I come up with it. So it's numbers used with expected prices. But again, it's based on number of snow events. And we did, thank you, I believe Denise, you spearheaded that. We did buy extra salt last year. We are somewhat limited this year and where we could make room. Anybody can make room, but it's a
Did
little
you-
hard. It's gonna
You
make,
still have 22,000 in there.
pardon me?
You still have 22,000 in sand and gravel.
Yeah, so we could, you might get another 10 loads or something like that. It's the salt that is the big pricey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you can spend that and put away, like we did last year,
Yeah, okay.
that would be helpful. This year. So we are asking for an increase?
10,000.
Yes, I asked for a larger increase than what's shown, but I understand.
Chris, you're in trouble.
And I appreciate your comparison. Have we ever looked at, for some, especially some of these items that fluctuate, looking at a 5-year average and, but also not necessarily a 5-year average in cost, but a 5-year average in what the usage is, and then applying the current cost rate to that usage? So if you're using on average 5,000 tons, over that 5-year period, then 5,000 times whatever the rate would be. Have we ever looked at it that way?
No, and here's why, Mike, and if I may back up Denise' comment, he's never in trouble, he's my boss, so.
Oh, I know. He knows that.
But my problem is, if I were to represent, so to speak, an average over 2 mild years and then 2 big years, and then somebody would say to me, well, what's the matter with you? You estimated too low, and now we have a budget problem. So I just say, here's what I think is typical, within reason, but a little bit on the high side, so that I don't get caught without sand and salt. So that's
No,
why.
I understand that, but I think if you use a timeframe, that's probably gonna lessen the likelihood of that, and then everybody just has to understand that, it's a challenge to predict. You can never predict what Mother Nature is gonna send us.
Yes.
So we are always gonna have to recognize that you could lowball it or you could highball it, and, then we have to figure out how to deal with both of those.
I didn't want to put you in that uncomfortable position of having to come up with dough, because it's, a typical winter versus a mild
Right.
winter.
But I think that might even be harder to predict, and I think that your idea might work for this, because we may not get snow, but we get ice, and we get slippery conditions and that black ice, and I think we get that more frequently than we get snow, at least over the last few years. So has your usage changed over the years? Like just,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not holding you to numbers, but just kind of subjectively.
Well, for instance, in fiscal year '22, which is one I have data for, was 1,700 tons. And that's the one that I used to come up with my number. So, and my number was 184, and it's down to 100. So even if we use, you're basically looking at a 60% comparison. So it's already been, sort of averaged out over the mild winter and the heavy winters.
Well, you had two seasons there, though?
Well, no, what I mean is, by taking not a huge winter, but a pretty significant winter was fiscal year '22, and we used 1,700. And my math made it so it was, whatever mine was, 164. So 100 versus 164 is 2/3. So we've already sort of averaged it out between Chris's number and my number, between a mild winter and a more significant winter. So the 100 already reflects that, but not by my
Right.
design. It just,
Right.
When you say 22, are you talking the winter 22, 23?
no, fiscal year '22.
So that'd be
So
21.
So it's
22.
21.
All right, because I'm just looking at this, because the actual for last year being 124, that's because you guys asked him to.
Yep,
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
not an accurate representation.
Right,
of
that's what I'm
that.
saying, usage versus purchase.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind stockpiling it, to the extent that we can, but it's, because it's in preparation of an unknown bad year, then, and even in those bad years, you scramble to try to even get it, because you can't
Right,
even get it.
right.
And then the price gets driven up because of it. It's been but even statewide, every town is dealing with the same issue, because they can only get so much salt in the province to distribute based on what they believe. So that, if they're figuring next year to be like this year, we're gonna see that pile up in the province to be extremely low. And then the chase is gonna be on us to trying to even get it. That's why I don't wind up stockpiling.
And there's no negative ramifications for stockpiling, right? It doesn't,
Well, he does have the
doesn't-
igloo to put it in, but the issue is
No,
gonna be
I
if it's
know.
outside the igloo, we're gonna have to cover it.
Yeah.
right, but if it's covered and protected, it doesn't change the effectiveness.
If it's covered and protected, it's acceptable. The hiccup is that there's limited space at DPW to store
Right.
things.
I've also seen that white running across the parking lot too, so. That means that there's runoff from the salt pile. How much damage is that salt getting?
It's very, very minimal. We sand and salt, not in the summer, but we sand and salt in the winter to
We
park.
sweep it up and reuse it.
How much can you
I asked
store?
about that once.
No, you can't do that either.
That was a
I think
question
with
last
the
year.
22 that we have left, I think we can store that. It makes it tight. Well, DPW is a very agreeable type of operation. We try to assist as best we can.
No, I'm just trying to get a sense of, with your storage capacity, what's the capacity of the storage?
I would say, an igloo? I don't know, but our igloo is probably, we can push it up some more, but we're probably right now at 80% capacity, and we have salt outside now, but it's covered with the hay logs.
If you guys are kicking a number around, I'll just be the bad guy and say 90,000 for the sake of moving on here. If you're looking for a bad guy, I'll be it.
No. What do you think, Chris? You want to keep it at 100 or should we lower it?
I'm comfortable with that, like I said, at the end of the year, if we have to chase to find money, we're gonna find it, it is what it is.
So we keep it at 100 or?
Yeah, I know it's a lot lower than what Rick wanted, but I do think that,
You have to keep that in mind, it's lower than what Rick
Like
wanted.
I said, I'm fine.
All
with
right,
it.
so we'll keep it at 100.
I mean, if we
If
get
that's
to
all
the
right.
end of the budget and we see that we need to make, we know where we're going to make some cuts.
Yeah, I'm making little asterisks.
And we're gonna buy some, this year before this budget
And
ends.
that's why everybody said, let's cut it down to 90, because we're gonna spend 20 now.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna try, because what ends up happening is if they've already covered, they're not gonna take it off for 10 loads.
Oh, okay.
So, but we'll take a look and see what we can do.
Last year, we were able to do it, but,
Yes.
I think a lot of communities were in the same boat last year, said they had money and they told us.
so we all did it,
I mean,
yeah.
It went up so high.
I would suggest that once you feel your winter season is over, because I know you can have freak snowstorms, or when you feel you have enough to cover such of those, then just spend it out and buy for the next year.
He doesn't know what his next emergency's gonna be.
No, I know, but if it's April 1st and you think, well, we're probably not gonna have much more and we already have a bunch in there, let's fill that thing up.
No, and I understand what you're saying, Mike. My hiccup is but I'm going to. I really didn't want to this year because we're tight for space.
Right,
We'll
right.
make it do, but
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
rather have.
you can't
not.
take in more than what you can fit. We understand that, yeah.
Yeah, but even now, by ordering this extra, we're gonna do it. It crimps us a little bit, but we'll make do.
All right,
Right, the
so,
only other question I had was like, the salary line. We talked about this briefly the other day, Chris.
Which one?
The employee salaries, just
we're going back up there,
just to
okay.
clarify. Oh, we haven't gone up that. Oh, you're saying we're going back up there? Well,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah,
I was
that's
just
fine,
looking at
I
the notes
just,
have over here. Just to clarify what we're budgeted for versus what we had, including the landfill.
where are you?
He's up top.
Correct.
Yeah, but the land,
So what's your question? I can go from there.
Yeah, no, I just want, so what we talked about the other day was, we were technically down 3 employees from 3 resignations.
oh,
Yeah.
And then we moved 2 employees from landfill to operations. And then we're technically short 1 or?
One.
Because my only question on that was, that I could have asked you.
We'll be staffed at 8 when we're done.
All right. Yeah,
And this is budgeted for all positions that are,
that's what I want to know, how many positions is that budgeted for?
I'll ask Rick, but I'm pretty sure we budgeted for 8, correct?
All I did was level funded it from the previous.
Okay. Oh, well, we might be able to make an adjustment there too.
I think it is 8, though,
I'm pretty sure we made it.
because we
8
talked
last year.
about this last year.
So leave that, because the only other question I would have, and this might be a stick of dynamite, but if the town council has to approve adding positions, wouldn't they have to approve removing positions as well? Or is that just?
No.
No, well,
it's contractual.
it's all in the contract, so but we did talk about the landfill positions last year.
We did.
And we dropped, did we drop?
The 2 from the landfill, we opted not to backfill them.
Right,
With that wording, it's better, yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, I know you and I talked about it.
We didn't fire, we didn't let anybody go,
Yeah,
it was
just-
by attrition, but So, and I,
We try.
believe me,
I'm looking at efficiency, that's why. I mean, we could give them a ton of work. You know that.
They have a ton of work. But we're not saying that they're not completing their work or that the work is not getting done. They're working. They're doing the tasks that they're given, and they do a very good job when they do work. I don't have any issue with any of that. And if at some point we decide that we're gonna need to have more, we will. I mean, but it's, right now, I think we had basically 2 full-time people up the landfill, one full-time and one half a week up there.
Yeah, Monday.
And without that work, there's no need for it anymore. So they're not, you know, I know I keep hearing that they're doing more and more work. They do the same amount of work every day, whether, you know, some of the stuff is just taking longer to get done.
I do want to clarify something, though. If Rick came to Chris and said, we need another guy, then yes, we would approve
I've
that
actually told Rick to
position.
put a posting out for the last.
Right,
resignation.
we would approve that position, and then when we go into contracts, now we say you have 9 employees.
So the contract
It's
itself,
when-
and it's just, because this came up yesterday, the contract itself does have the positions
It
listed.
does,
But within the contract, there is management rights as to
Yep.
what, we've already gone through this with Tim, that we don't have to fill every one of those positions.
Well, we discussed this the last contract because we knew that we were closing the landfill and we were gonna have to.
And it was clear in the language of the tenant
Right.
agreements, that not that I want to bring on any of the labor negotiations, but the union is agreeable to the fact that we recognized what I just said about the landfill. It is what it is, but if we do find that there's a need that we need to bring more on, we will.
Yeah, that piece right there you didn't mention when we were back home, so. Perfect, thank you.
All right, paving and drainage, you're asking for 0?
So.
'Cause you have
Not
4.
Rick. Rick, how much you asking for?
Well, I was asking for the 618, I believe.
So, what I suggested to Rick is to put it in both places. So when I say both places, it would be gaming, American Recovery money, or in the budget. And since we've been funding it through, we did $1.2 million through American Recovery.
Right,
We're finishing up with that allocation of money now.
but the paving account right now has 400,000 in it.
So that's the money that's coming through from, the annual, the end of the year,
Yeah,
The
the restricted, oh,
and there's some reimbursement that just came back for DOT, that program that we're.
Right,
involved
right.
in.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we'll probably still ask for another 600,000 under either American Recovery or gaming, depending on the.
So I'm gonna just be on the record that I would not see that coming out of casino money, because that's operational
yeah,
expenses.
I wouldn't take that out of casino either. Because this is operational.
It is.
This is definitely operational, so,
I just didn't know where you wanted to be with it, so. I
Well,
know we
how
took it out
much-
of American Recovery before, so,
I don't remember why we did that, though.
because the,
Because there was a need.
was a
Okay.
need.
So how much do you think you need?
Well, if I understood what Chris said, we spent the 1.2 that we received.
Right.
So what we have left right now is only enough to do the fiscal year 25 Rhode Island DOT Municipal Road and Bridge Program, where you get some money
Yeah.
back. So that would wipe that out with a few thousand left for potholes and things like that that we have to have. But basically, at 600,000 a year,
Oh,
it
I-
would still be 70 years between doing Road A, finishing Road Z, before you got back to Road A, it would be 70 years more or less. And that's at 600,000, just to give you an idea. And that's one of the reasons I said I would like 618.
But you have 401 in there.
Yes.
Existing, and that's what he's saying would cover the DOT
Yes.
plan.
Right, and we do get reimbursement, but of course, obviously, my point of view is that that money that we get back wasn't to lessen the monies that we would normally get. It would be to help the town catch up, and all the other 38 municipalities catch up on their road work. But basically, the way I would say it is, at 600 grand, you'd still be 70 years between roads.
But you want to take 600 grand out of,
It was either American Recovery or gaming. I was
what do
just-
we have in American
So,
Recovery?
I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. There should be enough money to do that.
I mean, it is a one-time expense in a way.
It is.
No, it's
And
not.
we did
It's
take it down.
operational. We have to do it
Well,
every
it's
year.
one time every year.
One time every, yeah.
You
So
have
it's
to pay
not
salaries
really- It's
every
not
year.
really,
You know,
it's not
Right,
really
so
one time.
are you saying you would oppose American Recovery too?
I think what we need to get to is having money in this line item. I don't know that we can pump 600 into it, so it might be, what can we do this year and then increase that
Yeah.
incrementally over the next several years to a point where we're comfortable.
Because then American Recovery's gonna do it anyway.
Right.
Right,
Before COVID, I understood.
Yeah, how
it got
much?
wiped
That's
out
what I'm
with
trying to
500.
think. It was 500, right, every year?
Typically, it was about 500,
That
but
was
then
coming in my
COVID, for
head.
obvious reasons, wiped that out.
Yeah, that was what it was in my head too, was
And-
500.
and doesn't money go into that
And stays there.
at the end of
It's a
the,
sweep, it's a sweep.
that's the 400, okay. Can you
But 400
remind,
didn't go in, to my knowledge, 400 didn't go in, that's just because we had that and we had used the 1.2, so we hadn't dipped too much in that, but maybe 400 went in. I didn't think it was that much every year.
it's a percentage of leftover from the year
From the year
before.
before.
I'm gonna have to-
No, it's not a percentage, it's everything, anything that's in this paving account that's left over goes right in there.
Well, plus his
Right,
budget.
but I thought there was a percentage,
That's another account.
is that
That's,
for capital?
yes, that's for
Okay.
capital.
So what if this idea? Because it's not the normal, it's not the $3 million a year.
Everything from that?
So, thought, with the casino, we have the $3 million that we get, which could go higher, but generally it's not likely to. Then we have the 200,000 from the I guess it's the sports betting and the like. So, and that's a solid amount. So what if, right now, that 200,000 we put right into the general fund?
It does, it goes right to zero.
We could amend the casino ordinance to shift that 200,000 into the paving every year. And that will help it grow, and then hopefully get to a point where it doesn't have to grow anymore. And then still put something in the regular budget. And I don't know what that something is.
We do that by ordinance?
We have to modify the casino ordinance.
Yeah.
Because that money's going to the general fund anyway,
Right,
so it still helps offset costs.
exactly.
Just going into earmarker for a lineup.
Right.
Right. Can you remind us what the cost is to pave, like, per mile? I just remember that number being so astronomical, what the cost is.
I think when we did the 600, we might have done, might have been 10 or 12 roads when we did the
So we're gonna
600.
revise.
But if you remember the ones we did, for instance, on one stretch, we did the Wild Rose area. On another stretch, we did just now, we did Kenyon and East Beardsworth, that area. We did Colonial. We did not full, but we did mill and pave on Judson and, not Judson, Judson and Canonicus and Wow. So you might not long streets. You'd wipe out 600 doing Brayton Road. I'm not sure you would do Brayton Road for 600,000. So, we try to go different areas of town, different years, to spread it around.
Sports gambling, we get how much? I just
200.
You have I remember seeing at one point like a 5-year plan, so that all the roads
10 years, that's 2 million.
were listed and, like this year. At one point, it might have been before you were in this position, but I can understand that then a road has a major failure and they have to kind of readjust the priorities.
Yeah, but it wasn't cycled through the 5 years. It might have been a 5-year projection, but that didn't
Yeah.
cover all the roads in town.
No, it did, no, absolutely. It was
Yeah, we
just a
have to
very
talk to Mike
small
about these things. We need
percentage of them.
I gotta give you credit, Rick. You're talking about a 70-year plan on the roads, we don't even have a 5-year plan.
All right, so
So,
how about if we,
next time you do the 70-year plan, can you do it without state roads?
I'm not familiar with the 7-year plan.
a 70-year plan? You said it was 70
Oh,
years.
70.
Well, that was 7 years before the bid began.
Yeah, that was just early on.
We know.
Yeah, early on when I started at DPW, I looked at the budget, and then I looked at the road miles, and I said, it's gonna, and I did the math, and I said, wow, this is
70
one of
years.
the reasons there's an issue here, because it's 70-year cycle.
All right, so, Chris,
Lifetime.
if we put 300,000 in here for now, and we-
Couple of careers.
and we talk about the revised ordinance, which would put 200 in there every year. So like Mike said, in 10 years, there's 2 million in there.
Yeah, assuming we won't spend it out,
Obviously,
but,
it has to be used on.
right,
Right,
right, but
right,
you're
but
still gonna
you're
build
still
it,
gonna-
you hopefully will be building it up faster than what you're using it, so that,
So how much?
so we get 200,000 from sports betting. Right now, that goes into the general fund, so instead of that going to offset, right, so it goes into this account, which still offsets taxes. Yeah, but we're not pulling from the general fund to do it, or we're not taxing additional money. And it's not, the piece of the casino revenue that we kept for non-operational expenses was the 3 million, and if we get additional in that 3
I
million.
like that idea.
I'm fine with that, or be back to revisiting that $100,000 ninety.
No, we may have to revisit all this at the end of this anyway.
Right.
With the, what, based on what you're saying, Mike, and Chris, whoever, what would the annual be for DPW's paving?
So if this holds true, what we just said, for this year, it'd be 500,000.
Okay.
For next year, it would depend on what's in the operational component, but you get at least another 200,000. Not saying that's all, but the concern is if we probably have to get this 300,000 up higher, but if we put 600,000 in there, or, just do the flat number, that's a hell of a increase in 1 year. And I know you understand that. So it's trying to build that up over time.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my intent anyway. And then you'd still have that 200,000 going in. So to Dave's point, you might be spending out, but eventually, if we can get that back to a reasonable 500,000 or 600,000 in the operational expense line here, and then still put that 200,000 in, it should help build that out, and maybe that 70 years becomes 68 years.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go down, line painting, I think that's where we are. Guardrails, anybody have any questions on guardrails, line painting? The next biggest item is stormwater management, I think, is that right? No, I can't follow the heat. So there's a slight increase in heat. We want you to be warm, I think.
Question on guardrails, I guess. It does go up a tiny amount, but we haven't spent any to date. 6797, 3150, still 3150 remaining.
Right, it goes in every year, David, but we don't use it every year. I think
That's
we,
going up 3240 from 31.
Is that when there's damage, like an accident or?
it's sometimes when there's an accident, but it's also, for instance, Progress Road and Industrial Way intersection. We looked at that, well, we can't take credit. The police looked at it and said, you guys should have a guardrail there. So we installed the guardrail. That might have been 2 years ago.
So it's his fault?
No.
If I was like,
I'm kidding, I'm
It was
kidding.
a safety, so we looked at it and
kidding.
said, somebody's gonna come down this road one day and not stop.
No,
Right
yeah,
onto the
I
highway.
get that.
and sometimes it is for repairs.
How frequently do you spend that out annually?
Not often.
Maybe, yeah, once every couple of years.
So if we half that, would you be happy with half?
Well, the hiccup is.
You can't
that-
predict.
Well, no, in this case, I have to use another reason, is that you can't do much guardrail for that, and one of the problems is, the guys who do guardrail, just like line painting and crack sealing, they don't come out for,
Small.
$1,000. You can't do anything. In fact, you have one of those attenuators, I think that's something like $1,400. Just that.
So when we did the thing at the end of Progress Road, we ate this account up and we had to transfer money from another account to do it. And that's just a short guardrail.
But I wasn't even looking at half of it, I was just kind of chuckling at the $90,
He just put a percentage on it, that's basically it.
which,
Okay. And that sweep, where does that sweep to at the end? If there's still money there?
Yeah.
It'll sweep
It
into,
sweeps into the general fund.
yeah, okay.
And to answer David's question, I put a factor of inflation of 3% this year, but I don't mess around with $1.50. So that's why sometimes it's 2.93 or 2.86. It's just rounded to $10.
It actually gets swept into municipal capital account.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah, okay.
Current resolves.
That was Sam, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's her birthday.
I know
Oh,
it
thank
seems
you.
strange, but considering what the schools are going through.
What are we doing?
So we were just talking about guardrails.
Increases here.
No,
No,
we
we're
do
on.
this every year. This is not uncommon.
What?
This process.
Oh, yeah, we do this all the time.
And we'll come back and, you know,
We didn't cut that, right?
no, we didn't cut it. Rick convinced us.
I'm sorry, I had to get that, it was my daughter.
So stormwater we're on.
Stormwater,
So stormwater is is that your report that you have done every year by,
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's the MS4.
yeah, the MS4 report?
But also, if something happens, we have a little bit of money in there. And one of the things that would be nice, but there's not enough money in it, is if you can do some kind of IT to locate the stormwater elements, the catch basins, the manholes.
So like a
Put it on-
GIS
put it in
system?
GIS?
Well, you have a GIS where you can map
Didn't we
them and
already?
maybe put them on David's GIS map.
Okay,
See, now that could be a one-time expense,
yeah, that would be.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so we could look at
We-
some of the
we
other
could look at
funds that
some
we
of the other
have to
funds,
do that
just-
piece. Because it's not, you're not gonna,
It's not
You're
required.
not gonna do
Recurrent.
it every year.
But I would have to ask David, because maybe there's a reoccurrence on a monthly fee or something like that for the IT element, I don't know.
right.
We'll talk to
But then we could budget that. Can I just bring up that, the resolves, number 8? So, once everything, all the accounting requirements are met, transfer out of the unexpended municipal expense 25% into the restricted paving drainage account and 25% into the restricted capital.
but I also think that the paving count goes,
I think that does,
I
yes.
think that the
But
paving,
but there's also a
there's also another
percentage.
percentage.
Well,
I
The
remember that
paving
from
is
the budget
restricted, so we
committee.
never touch it, but Deb is right about the 25%. I thought you meant 25% of what was left over
No,
paving.
of the
Oh,
total
all
budget.
right,
I just,
yes.
I think we did that when I was on the budget committee.
Yeah, but not the total budget, Deb. It's only the operating, which is,
Of the operating,
right, which is a lot less than
Municipal.
the total budget.
of the municipal,
Right. So it's 25% of the operating, which is,
Of the municipal
of the
budget.
municipal.
So at the end of the year, what we have in municipal, not anything to do.
Unexpended municipal expense.
It doesn't say operating, it just says,
well, salaries, for instance, do not get, if there's $10,000 left over in salary.
No, but this is just for paving.
No, I
The
guess what I'm saying
transfer
is.
out, the transfer out. Unexpended municipal
So he's
expense
saying, for example,
appropriation.
if $300,000 of unexpended salaries is part of a $1 million surplus, that the $300,000 is not being whacked for the 25.
That's
don't
my
know it.
understanding.
Yes, it is being
That's what I
whacked
would
for the
think.
20.
Yeah,
Because it
because
doesn't- it
so
doesn't say-
if we budget 300,000 and we're at the end of the year, all expenses are in, and we're only spending 295,000, that 5,000 becomes available because we haven't spent it and we're not going to spend it.
even if it's salary.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Right.
It's the whole municipal budget,
Okay.
everybody's accounts.
Thank you.
But that goes in the municipal capital, that 25%.
Nope, it all.
25% to paving
look at
and
number
25%
8. Look at number 8.
to capital.
Okay, all right.
I was pretty sure that we did,
All right, no,
we
so it's
did that,
split both.
Yep.
All right,
yeah.
So right.
right. And then, except for under Resolve 5, paving, drainage, curbing,
Will be
sidewalks are
restricted.
restricted only.
Right.
And anything left over gets
Right,
carried
so
over.
paving gets a lot of money at the end of the year.
Yeah, we just have to,
Depending on how
Change the
well
dates
we
on that.
manage the budget during the year.
Okay.
All right, so we're past guardrails, we're past
yeah,
stormwater,
stormwater heat now.
heat. Everybody's heat went up a little.
Yeah. I don't see any other areas in there.
Oh, I was looking at 2022, 2023, 10,000 to 23,000.
Yep, don't know about you, but my house is like that too. In heat right now, we have a remaining balance of 13,000.
What do you use? Oil?
Oil.
Yes, and that's on the town contract.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have the recyclable furnaces, right?
Correct.
Is there value, so this is just for your building, right?
Yes.
Is there value in looking at some of our buildings to put rooftop solar?
I got enough stuff to do.
No, that's not what I'm thinking.
I know.
The thought is that
Cost of it upfront.
one of the plans that we've been looking at as far as doing a public safety complex is taking that
Oh,
building
yeah,
down.
that's right, that's right.
So.
So it wouldn't, so that would not, but like
I do
here,
agree that at some point we should be looking at that.
yeah,
And quite frankly, I want to explore putting solar panels on the landfill.
Yeah.
That would drop all of our electricity across town. You know,
Yeah.
It's, there are grant monies that are available.
and you could do it so that residents could buy into it?
That I have to explore, but that's, I do think that we should make it available. It's-
Can we do that now, or do we have to wait? I thought we had to
No, we
wait.
have to wait, but we're not done with the landfill, there's still a couple of punch list items yet, and we still have one major item up there that we have to fence around it, because, believe it or not, we got a call this week, somebody wants to go up there and fly planes on it, that's, you know, it's not recreational.
ATVs and stuff going up there, right? Dirt bikes. and
Yeah, but that's the
ATVs
problem,
tearing it up.
we, $14 million put a landfill cap on it, we don't need ATVs.
Well, we could put some of those strips that police use across the highway with the nails, no.
So,
And I just will say, Rick, that I know the cost for heating have gone up, but DPW is cold. Every time I've been in there, it's cold. It's not heated high temperature.
Not the people, the building.
Well, one of the hiccups is it's a large building with a high roof.
Right, I get
And
that. Yeah.
we're not.
It's drafty.
Yeah, no, we find it comfortable.
That's all that
he probably
matters.
keeps his house at 59.
He's got a little-
Still has 3 winter coats on, but yeah, he finds it.
Yeah, he's comfortable. All right, electricity, you actually have, you're spending like you should.
Yeah, I don't see anything else in his, what's the, other than that, well, no, that's fuel, that's understandable.
So we passed electricity, right? Water, sewer,
Is that the phone?
Somebody calling you?
it's my phone again.
Oh, no, mobile communications, 6930, that's the phones.
Oh,
That's the cell phone.
Do you need to take it?
no. Sally, I don't know what she wants.
I can count, but we
I'm
probably
glad.
have 10 or so, whatever it is.
Each of the guys would
Got
have,
4
Yeah.
plans at $2,500 for the each.
yeah, but you need that so you could communicate to each other.
Well,
Either that or radios.
They also have Cox, you have internet, you have,
Oh, yeah, we have, but that's under another item.
all right. Okay.
That's under IT, right?
Yeah,
No, that's under telephone /
Oh, okay.
TV.
No.
telephone/TV.
That didn't work.
So what account were we looking at?
Mobile communications.
Mobile
You
communications.
guys don't have, that's what, first thing I looked at was thinking radios, you don't have radios, right?
Correct.
Not yet,
That's a different brand.
it's coming. No, we're gonna take the ones from fire.
Please.
Yeah. So we're looking at mobile communications, okay. It's not much of an increase there.
I just wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, telephones,
Knowing that there's no radios, that's why.
highway signs. Why is your highway sign up?
How much does a stop sign cost, Rick?
I heard
A
that.
stop sign might be 100 or so.
Oh, that's not bad.
I'll charge you 50 for the one in my garage.
I was gonna say, can we put an amnesty out there and pay $50 to get them out of people's garages?
We buy a bundle though of posts, the breakaway posts. You might get 25 or so, that's like $2,500.
So like when we put up no parking signs and those kind of things, it actually adds up fast.
Yeah,
Having
so-
signs made can be,
Well, so it's not just that too, because we have rec areas that need
no, that's,
signage, and that all comes
no,
out.
they all come out of this budget, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that year that we added the year we added the weight limits to those several roads up north, that was probably, took $2,500 right there just for the posts.
Well, it can, and when we add like the no parking signs, when a neighborhood gets it, and I like Chris's idea of getting them out of people's garages. So, they seem to be a popular item.
Actually, there are some areas, and I've seen them around different areas where they have the solar LED lighting on them. There are certain areas we should have those, to have visibility. Not everywhere, but there are, certain areas we should have those, and it'd be nice to be able to start investing in, better signs in town, but I know they're expensive too, so.
Yeah, those may be like 2,500 a pop, and we did look into that. Chris and I have had discussions. The problem is to find one that's not on all the time, to have the ones that are motion detector type, which makes more sense, and those are expensive, and they have a lifetime, because we looked into this, and I was hoping back in the beginning you could just take out the light bulbs and replace them, but some of them the whole sign goes away, and some you might be able to replace the strip, say around a road, a handicap crosswalk or something. So they have limitations, and one of the big problems is they're on all the time. And like anything else, like not quite the same, but similar, the no littering signs. After a while, people ignore them, even when they're a flashing sign.
Do you do the street signs also?
Yes.
What's the standard inch for a stop sign?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Just go to the garage and measure it.
Well, I'm looking at a 24-inch here for $699, I'm looking at a 30-inch for $900, that's why I'm like,
I have no idea.
Well, yeah, send us the link to the $6.99.
It's cardboard, but.
I'm telling you, it's right there.
Operating supplies went up a little bit.
Yeah.
IT went up 200. Roadside mowing contract, that's contractual.
No, that's contractor, it's not contractual.
Oh, all right.
And we
8,000.
We did not utilize that, well, I don't know if we're gonna use any of the spring.
If they're willing to, depending on when our mower arrives, we might use that. We hope eventually, when it's been ordered last year, but it hasn't shown up, we hope eventually to just use our own.
But there are some areas we really need to get done.
You haven't done any this year? I thought I've seen areas that have been,
Oh, we do some if we can reach them with our rear deck or
okay.
with our weed whackers, brush cutters.
this is like that arm that reaches over.
Yes.
Rubbish and recycling collection went down.
Went down?
I think there was some startup costs when we
All right.
renewed the contract.
The biggest was that prior to 23, we were doing estimates based on cubic yards.
Right. And
Starting-
Now we're actually at scale leads.
No, okay. Okay. So, not that I'm a fan of it, but where are we at with that estimate on moving to the
Bins.
bins?
Bins.
So we were supposed to get back to the council on what it would cost to do the bins.
Yes, it's a work in progress.
Okay, because I know my
Any idea
fellow,
when we get that to the council?
my fellow counselor will ask about that if he wasn't here, if he was here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
When do you think we can get that cost? Because every agenda meeting it comes up.
Well, I can reiterate what was shown, but I'll talk with Chris to see exactly what you would like.
Okay. All right. Landfill. So this is where the landfill work is left.
So we do have some new testing to do.
I'm looking at recycle center equipment rental,
I'm the wrong one.
electricity and propane. Engineering and testing, 48,000, so we have more testing to do.
Actually, no, it's less, Rick. I thought we'd had more.
No, the,
No, I'm looking that there was no item,
Nothing the year before.
nothing the year before.
well, the hiccup there was that the,
Oh, we did it in landfill closure.
well, the pay-as-you-throw ended up going somewhere else, so somehow that got eliminated because we were going to offset trash costs. So there was a motion made and approved by the council, and I don't remember whose idea it was, to put the pay-as-you-throw instead of being in landfill capping. Once it was done and approved by DEM, then those receipts would go to helping trash costs, which was 55.
But is the
5,500.
landfill completely capped now?
Well,
Other than some punch list items.
yes, and it hasn't been approved by
DEM.
DEM, but all the tests, there's some tests that are required, and the elevations will go, the topos will go away. But the hiccup was that item got eliminated, so we had to dip into the 5,500 account.
The 5,500 is what? It's the trash bag.
That's the trash. And thank God we had enough money for that. But the intent was to use the pay-as-you-throw monies to help the 5,500 account. But somewhere slipped through the cracks that we still had to do testing and reports at the landfill. And
Yeah,
that's
but
ongoing.
if that is still part of the closure, it should come out of pay-as-you-throw, no?
No, so, I'm still a little bit confused as to what you're saying, but,
Me too.
so, do we take monies from the bag fees and pay for engineering testing?
Not from,
I know it's not in the budget, but the testing was done this year. We do testing every year.
yes,
How did that get paid?
we had to take, and thank God we
When
had
you
to
say
make some money.
5,500 account, what is it?
Oh, that's the 5,500, 6457.
Rubbish recycling collection.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So is that why we reduced the rubbish collection?
No, the rubbish collection was reduced simply because the estimate is more concrete now because it's based on
Okay,
tonnage.
but if we paid for the testing out of that account too, why wouldn't we reduce that by the same amount?
No, last year, this fiscal year that we have right now, because the tonnage is less than expected, we had extra money, we still have extra money in that 6457
Right.
account.
Right.
So we were able to pay for the testing through that account because we had,
I get you. All
I
right,
still don't get it.
clear.
So this is annual testing then?
Yeah, there is annual testing every year.
All right.
I thought when the landfill was closed, there was gonna be another well. that was gonna increase this.
there is, but we're not gonna have the topo, for instance. So the 48 seems to be a good number. But bear in mind that President Biden, but this was just recently, President Biden did pass the PFAS for drinking water. So right now, we haven't had to do PFAS testing. DEM is still working on that. They have been for a year or two. So those tests could be $1,400 a pop. And you might have to do them quarterly, you might have to do more than one location. But the 48 number, based on the facts that we have presently, the 48 number is a good number for us.
Okay, all right.
And to clarify for those following the bouncing ball, the prior year showing 0 doesn't mean that this is an added expense, that's just paid for somewhere else.
Yeah, in fact, in
It's
the,
actually down.
yes, actual in 23 is 55,000.
So, all right. Bulldozer repairs, I guess.
Yeah. We still, we have the bulldozer over at the recyc,
Yeah, we're gonna be moving it over to the recycling center pretty soon, I would think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be using it over there.
But you have repairs every year with that thing.
Yep.
And then that last account, on-site wastewater, we can drop that to 15,000.
And the reason for that?
We have found a way of not spending what we thought it was
Okay.
gonna be. We spent, I think, about 11,000 this year so far. We are gonna send out another mailing, so we'll see what that comes up to, but I think 15 will be sufficient.
You have 9,000 with 11,007 left.
Yeah, I think we have a bill on the desk that'll bring to 11 now, but I think we have one more mailing. So, and it's actually been working out that they're improving.
All right, building maintenance. Salaries, contractual,
That's asked me.
It's all salary.
maintenance labor, part-time seasonal went down 4,000.
Is there another one of my cuts?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Our hiccup again has been that people have not applied for seasonal. We put out the ad every year, but
Nobody wants it.
So
Okay.
basically, if we can get somebody, it is mostly in the summer only. It's-
Yeah.
So what are they doing?
So they help with the trash pickups, and we do get more trash in the summer. than like around all of our parks and things like that.
and
They'll do painting, they'll do minor.
Send me the ad, because we might have some older youth who are in our voluntary foster care program who might want a summer job.
Okay.
So, not many live around here, but
right, and the, one of the things that makes it unattractive to some people is that one of the intents is to have it on weekends to help with the bath facilities at the beaches. And,
Cleaning, that kind of stuff, it's,
yeah, it's not a glamorous job,
Right.
but it's not a hard job either.
right.
Okay.
cleaning out the porta potties. You know, some of those porta potties can be a real mess. I know, it's,
Uniform rentals, tool equipment replacement. There's very little increase over here.
yeah, it's all done.
And fuel, yeah. Yeah, I don't, that account went up less than $200, right?
Yep.
All right. Parks maintenance and mowing, that's you too, right?
So the biggest increase is obviously the porta johns. We're gonna need more down at Parkland this year than,
Yep. Any questions?
Have we ever looked at one of those trailer-type porta-johns?
so we may look at that this year because I don't think we're gonna be able to use the bathhouse down there at all. And it would be nice if there's a way that we can tie that directly into the septic system.
Yeah.
But I would like to get something that's a little bit better than our porta johns.
Right,
It's-
well, and they're
I
less,
know we've been using the handicap ones, which are a little bit nicer, but,
but they're also less likely to be,
yeah, well, that's, yeah. But we'll look to see if there's something a little bit more suitable. It'd be also nice to see what's something with an outside shower on it, but, you know, beaches are, you know, people do like to get cleaned up before they jump in their cars.
We did street lighting, yeah, we did all that. All right,
Thank you all.
thank you, Rick.
We didn't say too much about that.
Well, I took most of the cuts, so. We're negotiating this, I said, Rick, I think you should look at the budget.
so you have, the building inspector here.
So when I did the original one I provided to you, I said if we had time, we would be able to do so.
We still have an hour.
Yeah, and you're still on page 2 of your agenda. It wasn't put the way I put it, if we had time, they're listed, so I think if we can we do them to get them, because these are not gonna take long at all. They're gonna be your, you know, bullet,
This is the way this was our request, though.
yeah, but Jeannie typed up a little different, I didn't realize it until after I read it last night, that
Yeah, they're all here.
This
They're all
is
listed for
page.
today.
Oh,
it's on page 2 of your agenda,
Which,
it
I
would
mean,
be
we
debt
can
service.
either do them or continue them, but.
Some of them are really easy, planning board,
Yeah.
zoning board,
Yeah.
they're really nothing. Municipal Capital, the only issue is there's the time payments, and I did add that's probably why the fire chief was here. he's looking to replace a pumper, and the issue is it's gonna be $1 million. So what do? Do we put it in time payments? It is what it is.
We just got
We
a,
did a ladder truck, we didn't do a pumper. We have a pumper that is,
What about the Quint?
so
Does-
that's,
the ladder truck is a pumper though.
it is, but the other ones that we have, we need to replace one of those.
How many pumpers,
So, chief, you wanna come up?
how many pumpers did we have altogether before we bought the ladder truck?
We have 2 actives, right, and 1 reserve.
Yeah, we have 3 altogether, so we have one at Station 3 on Crandall Road and one at Station 1 on East Road. The one at Station 1 is a 2011, the one on Crandall Road is a 2012, and our reserve truck is a 2002, so that one's 22 years old right now.
So, again, it's a 3-year window to get something. Or there's actually a truck that they can get probably in a year that is.
Get it the first quarter of 2025, they're saying, but it's not gonna be out there too long. It's being, in the process of being built right now.
How much is that?
That one is about 900,000.
We can't just take that out of the casino.
That's why I didn't know what to do with it, so I wanted him to be able to explain it. And there's a rationale as to the need. I know he said this is 2011. That's the oldest one other than the reserve?
No, it's,
The reserve's a 2002.
No, I get it, but that one will go away.
That's the one we
That's the
basically,
that-
we would move the 2011, would drop
Into
down to
reserve.
become the reserve. We'd have a 2012 and then the new one.
Right, and we would be in pretty good shape with pumpers after that.
we haven't really seen our needs for casino yet,
We haven't, but
but instead of,
I knew that wouldn't fly in casino. That's-
why?
Right, so if we're gonna do budget, do we put a 10-year payment in at 100,000?
No, why don't we just pay it?
We have a lot of unexpended gaming revenue allocated, going back to 2021 when it was first allocated.
Well, we could do that too, but that's not on the agenda for tonight.
Right.
I just wanted him to be able to explain it. I didn't realize that, you know, I wasn't sure if you would take it out of gaming, so.
Why can't we just take 900,000 out of gaming and pay for it and not have a debt service?
I would love to do that. I just want to also see what other,
else? Right.
what else is
So,
on the
We've
table.
been dancing with this landfill closure, gaming.
Right.
you know, So he needs an answer so we can commit to this. We could sign on to it, but
We don't have to come up with a payment until the truck actually arrives, which
right.
again will be the first
But
quarter
I
next
don't
year.
want him to sign
But
on to something until we can firmly commit to it either.
we just
But
hate
we
to
wouldn't be
lose
able
it.
to commit to it until July 1st anyway.
Why?
No, we have.
If we put it in the budget.
If we put
we
it-
had last
No,
time,
we're
that
talking
was-
about gaming money though.
No, I understand that, but if we were, you also talked about putting it in the budget. If we
Right,
put it in the budget.
and I didn't think we would take $1 million out of gaming, that's just for one piece, so, because we looked at doing the ladder truck and we said, no, we wouldn't.
I know,
And we had a
but
bunch of other, you know.
But
we had
a lot-
we had a lot going on.
We had a lot
then.
going on, but if we say we've got like cash up front, does that kind of move us to the front of the
All we need to do
line?
is sign these purchase and sales agreement with the company, that they just want to know either we're gonna pay for it all in the first quarter of 2025, we're gonna finance it, or we're gonna do it. They don't want anything right now, they don't want a down payment,
would be
basically.
They just want us to say
They just
yes
need
or
to sign an
no.
agreement saying we're gonna be good come when it's ready to be delivered to the town.
If we do, other than if we finance it, we're obviously paying interest, but do we get any break on the cost?
That is a break.
Well, just on finance, just on
That's
the
a
interest.
$200,000-$300,000 break easily, probably, right?
So we need the pumper. I wasn't aware that every station had a pumper.
Every station has you have the Quint ladder at Station 2, you have
Right.
Engine 3 on Crandall Road, and you have Engine 1 on East Road. And we have Engine 4, which is the reserve engine, which is the one that's 22 years old, which that one is really, needs to come off the road soon.
And they're all pumpers.
Right.
Yeah,
Basic,
that's
traditional
the issue.
fire engine
At
pumpers.
22, when one of our primaries goes down, we get a piece of,
They go in, what happens anytime Engine 1 or Engine 3, the 2011 or the 2012 engines go out of service for any kind of repairs, they go on Engine 4, which is the 22-year-old truck, temporarily until the repairs are completed.
If we could pull it off, my preference would just be pay the bill instead of put it in debt service and tax. This is what we wanted to do.
I agree, but I wanted to give you options, and I didn't want to commit to one way or the other.
But we have to
It's
s-
just a placeholder there, that's not, it's.
Right, but we have to see what we need casino for, and we haven't gotten to
We'll
that
put together a
point.
whole package for casino monies.
So could we discuss it at the next meeting? Because you need,
We can,
before you sign for this, you need to tell them what the payment would be.
No, we'll
No.
know that payment when it comes, we'll know it'll be about 900, so.
That's not what I'm saying. Do you have to tell them if we're gonna pay for it right off, or if it's gonna, no,
They don't care, as
okay.
long as, if we lease it, they get paid anyway.
Okay, all right. So basically, what you want from us is saying, yes, we'll commit to the pumper,
So we can
but
add-
we
can
just
add
don't
gaming
know
to
how
the
we're
next
gonna,
one. We can add gaming to the next meeting.
I just would like to get under contract so we don't lose it, because this
Yeah.
one, most likely it's 3 years to have a truck built. We can have this one, because it's in production right now and nobody has their name on it, we could have it, they're saying the first quarter of next year.
I don't think we can actually vote for this until Monday, until the next meeting.
Which is next Saturday.
No, I get.
No, yeah, next Saturday.
No,
As long as
no,
we
I
have it
agree.
in here.
But I wanted him to be able to at least explain what it is he was confronted with and what he's trying to
Yeah,
do.
we-
Next
we got
Saturday.
it next Saturday.
And the following. Deb, you're spending every Saturday here with us.
No, I know, I just don't know.
Sorry, we're gonna have breakfast first.
It's 4:20.
So we'll just put,
I didn't put that on my calendar.
So-
That can go on the agenda.
so we'll actually put this on the agenda, to give permission to sign sales and purchase for a pumper and to discuss financing or paying for it or whatever.
So you don't want all of gaming on it, just the.
What do
I
you,
think we should
I
have
can
it.
find out from Denise.
I think we
exactly
should
what
put
the
all of
balances are.
gaming on there,
Right.
so.
FY '22, FY '23, we don't do '24 till next year anyhow.
And then a sense of what you're looking at.
Right, okay, I'll do that.
And I don't think we're gonna vote on everything, but at least
No,
we'll
but you
have a
might want to
sense.
Well,
just
we're
vote on
looking
this
at-
item. Right. I'll have that ready for you.
There's, in gaming right now, do you remember?
I have no idea.
I had it.
Well, there's two different numbers. There's the number of what's there, and then there's the number of what's there that's been unexpended. I have the- I
Well,
have
there
the-
are some, there are some things that like,
Right, but if you look at what, it's I got the number in my head, it's 310.
I'll give you a list
Because
of everything that's
we
obligated.
gave away, we committed to 300 last year. At the audit report in July, it was 600, but we made our commitments in November, so 300 is gone from there, once she starts to get all the invoices. But 300 is incumbent,
Right,
it's
but
already.
it is helpful, because I hear what you're saying, Dave. When we get the information, it's not always in a way that it's easy
Yeah.
to say, okay, we start it with 3, we commit it 3, or 2, let's say.
And that's
and
what I
then-
had asked her for, because, for
Right.
example, 2021, there's $85,000 in the first two things that were approved that haven't been spent. So if we're upgrading contingency, town clerk and town council, and it's showing as unexpended, so I mean,
Yeah,
if there's
I mean,
money there,
we haven't done it yet. It's-
Right, but it's looking at what the dollars were, what we said we were gonna spend, even if we didn't spend it,
that's what I'm saying, if we revisit.
and then
some-
what's left,
Yeah.
and then what would be new.
So, it sounds like you'll have a permission to do it on next Saturday. And then as far as how we're gonna pay for it, does everyone agree with what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
yeah.
how we're gonna pay for it will be discussed next Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And you're gonna drive
So
that?
everything else on capital is time payments.
Yeah, we don't have,
All
yeah.
right, so that's,
So let's have the building inspector come on. Why is the police chief here, just to hang with
I
us?
think he just was to skip the chief blanket.
He's showing off his haircut.
He knows is what he said.
He's
Okay.
feeling better, he wanted to get out of the house.
All
His
right,
wife's probably back and said, you get out of the house.
She's still sleeping.
the building inspector. Yeah, come on. And you're doing planning board and everything.
Yeah, those are easy.
These are easy.
Morning.
Morning. There was something I wanted to ask about this. So it's the planner, the building official,
Yep.
the building zoning clerk, and land use clerk. That's 2
Both
positions.
those positions, yep.
Can you direct us, because I'm confused as where we're at.
3.
Okay, I am on the right page.
I'm going,
Land use.
I'm going down
Got
here.
it.
Page 3 has planning board, land use,
Yep,
and zoning
All right,
board.
but Chris, is this, this is potential for 2 clerks now?
It is 2 clerks. So we haven't put any money in for the other clerk, for what we're gonna, for the planner, that's not in here.
That's what I'm
No,
asking.
that's not in here. So these 2 positions are
Those two clerks.
Building clerk
Okay.
and the land use clerk.
I think that's what my question is.
Okay.
Why don't we have that third position in here? Because we did approve it.
We did, I just didn't put it in. It got by me.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. But, so that number will go up. Because what did we say we were gonna pay that
It
person?
was 52,000, I think this
Okay.
was.
Somewhere around there.
Plus pennies.
Plus
Yeah, but that'll be in the
benefits will
benefit
pop out and.
pot.
I'll have Denise make sure we adjust for that. It won't be that much money.
So this number goes up.
So that is an ad, okay. That's planner assistant.
So that number goes up to 151,200. If we're talking 52.
Yep.
But we'll get an exact number for that.
And while you will note the planner position is, it should be in the red by now. It's definitely in the red.
It is.
The difference that we take for that position comes out of benefits because the planner would have full-time family benefits. That's why we're taking the balance from. She's just a straight contract, so she has no benefits at all, what we're using today. And, you know, I am at a loss with this position. We've been advertising it for how long now?
You know, the planner right now, it actually says we have 44,000 left over in there.
Yeah.
The planner position.
I must not have some of our bills in them. I'll write this on this one here.
It says that 51% is already spent.
I thought we'd be in the right by now.
No, well,
Let me go find out, let me.
yeah, we'll look at
check
that
to see if I
eventually.
have all of our bills.
Okay. Okay. Really, nothing has gone up much. Telephone. That's it. Telephone, and now we added that salary.
Well, telephone is, I get a iPad.
So,
I think
yeah.
it's called, so I have this Wi-Fi thing that I take with me. It's like
You're so
my
technical.
Wi-Fi. Really? I'm not,
He's talking the way I would
I'm
be
not
if I.
technically savvy, so that increased that a little bit, and then,
Okay.
the other overage was the public stenographer, and that's just solely due to the fact that we have these ongoing meetings for seasons. That's an anomaly, and that'll hopefully go away sooner than later.
So, yeah, he can see the entire permitting process online, out on the road.
Yeah, with his doohickey.
With my doohickey, yep. That's right, John, for me, yep.
And how you, rather than prior to having this, you would take your notes or whatever,
Yeah, on a
and then
notepad.
you'd come back and
Yeah,
have to put them all, enter it
lose the
in.
notes, and I mean, it's an integral tool, you know, for this day and age, because
Right.
I can actually look at my desktop when I'm in the truck.
So it's also easy to show a homeowner or an applicant when he's out there, that said, the reason why this isn't done yet, you haven't applied for this yet, or it's still, you haven't, you know, it hasn't gone through taxes yet.
Yeah.
You still owe something.
I wish I had that on my telephone
I
when
know.
people call me. All right,
Quick question, Chris.
Sure.
Under town administrator, townwide internet service, that doesn't affect this thing that you were just
we're
talking
not,
about?
oh,
No,
Okay.
that's a separate, yeah, that internet service is for
'Cause I know
the
that's
entire
all-
facility. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure if we had some fancy plan.
so that's it, right?
Not fancy.
I do have some fancy plan, I wanna get rid of Cox. I know I
Just said that out loud.
We wanna see we'll probably wind up getting a Cox fiber line direct to the police station. That's probably where we're headed. Instead of using what they call their business model, that is no different than your homeowner's model, in my opinion.
Gotta do something, because they're horrible service.
So the bottom line for land use would change to 393,850 if we use the 52 salary. That's it, right? Any
For
other,
him, for John, yeah, that's
is
it.
there any other things you'd like to add? No.
He can speak both planning and zoning too, because he knows,
Right, so planning board is just subdivision regulations.
Yep.
Yep.
That hasn't changed. And professional tech services.
right.
That hasn't
We
changed.
haven't spending much of anything on that.
That would be, I think, page,
It's page 3, right?
So what is that for?
Which one, Mike?
Professional tech services? What
so
comes-
when they need a peer review of some sort that's not covered by the escrow fees, That's what they use it for.
'Cause
Right now,
John-
they're actually using it for, an LIDP study for water use around for, so they are doing things with it.
Okay.
And they're also paying, I believe, for, we had a consultant help them, do some work as it relates to the moratorium. I think we paid for it out of that as well, too.
Okay.
It's good.
Um,
I think we've
And
done,
and the zoning board is basically stenography,
yeah, we just talked about.
okay?
And that's it for John, I think, right, John?
You say so, Madam Chair?
Well, no, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, he's very amenable, he's very.
He didn't take as long as Rick, though.
No, he did well, Rick has a lot.
I'm only kidding.
So you do have my account there as well.
Yep, we're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Have a
John.
good day, folks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Town administrator, let's look at your budget, page 3. I mean, you didn't even go up you went up like $500.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where it went up.
Um,
The salary, it's all
it's,
salary.
it's salary line, that's it.
And obviously, whatever increase we do for me or Mary Lou would be in the council contingency as we do every year. So I think we're up to date as it is right now,
Okay.
so.
But even with salary going up, it wasn't,
No,
you had to save money somewhere because it would have been a bigger increase.
Trust me, I'm looking. Try to snip you, Chris.
Well, you know,
No.
you get,
26.1, you're doing great.
yeah, we say Rick is frugal. I'm more frugal than he is.
yeah, because, you know,
Cheaper than both of you.
yeah, because the past town administrators used to get an automobile expense, and since
I
we,
don't do that.
he doesn't want any of that.
That's
Like,
actually
if I
something.
can't do the job with my salary, then I don't need that. I don't believe in that stuff, so. I never did it for the state either. I never took a car or a phone or,
Same with me.
I just don't
Well,
believe.
I'm supposed to have a phone, I have to have a phone, but.
See, it didn't really, oh, okay, it's coming from council contingency, your raise.
But we're already up to date from the last review.
Right, yeah. you did
So
that.
it would be the next reviews that would
Next
come out
review.
of council
Okay.
contingency as well.
Okay,
It may be a little stale, I think, I forget when we did me and,
Fall?
you and Patrick.
yeah, because it's, I know it's Jimmy Costa, myself,
I think we did like November.
Chief, and Mary Lou. And I actually think it might have been October, I don't.
Mary Lou
Chief
was just
know, right?
recent, Mary Lou was just recent.
When were you evaluated last?
Last December.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Does this-
so
Yeah,
this
this-
December, so we're, not this past one, the one before?
22.
Oh, okay.
22?
Okay.
No, 20,
The deputy's contract expired October of '23, and my contract expired December of '20.
yeah, but we've done it
Did
since
we do
then.
a 6-month after that, though?
Of course we have.
Oh, man, he's getting ready to walk
With all due respect, Madam President, you have not.
Doesn't it feel like we did that in the
Yeah, I know.
fall?
That's, believe me, it
You're
feels like
thinking
we
of
just did it.
23.
I'll
That was the
pull it
last
up.
time. Nothing has been done, but our contracts are expired, like 3 years expired. So we need to renew myself and the deputy chief, or not.
Well, I purposely have not done them because we're in the middle of doing police negotiations. I don't want to do something in front of that. But-
It's his fault.
No, it's, and I'll say, for the record, let's settle with the IBPO.
But we did do a
And then we
raise.
can always take care of myself and the deputy
We
chief.
did.
We
I'm
did
gonna have to go
raises
back
for
and
him,
look.
though, we didn't evaluate.
I'll go back and look.
Yeah, because we just did Mary Lou with
Yeah, with,
the tax collector.
tax collector, yeah. I know, I lose track of them too, so.
All right, we don't have town council on here right now.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
So the only
so-
other ones is EDC,
EDC.
boards and commissions, and civic appropriations, which are.
What's, associated activities?
Right, which
I'm looking at
I-
something different.
So, and it's unfair, I don't know if you wanna push that to next week, which you can. I leveled them all. But what I meant to do, and I didn't get it done, I need to give you what they actually all asked for. Because there are some that ask for increases.
All right, so you want to put those off,
We can,
the EDC and the boards and
yeah,
commissions?
I just think it's unfair without providing. you-
Okay,
in all likelihood, we'll probably level them, but I do think it's important you understand what it is that they did ask for first.
next week's going to be busy, it might be over the time. How about civic appropriations? Have you,
Same, I did, that's what I did, was,
yeah, but civic appropriations, have you gotten any, requests in?
yeah, I think we got quite a few of them, and the issue is that they asked for one that wasn't on the budget. Because I did to them like I did to Rick.
Okay. Well, but are they up to date for what they requested? Like, did you look at that with civic appropriations?
Yeah, I just level funded them all.
Okay. What we need to see is actuals for civics.
Okay.
Because our problem is, sometimes we give this money and they never take it.
It's true, but then we chase them down and try to make sure that they,
Well, we actually zeroed some of them.
the ones that are on here are the ones that we do every
Okay.
year. I didn't, there's no new ones in here.
Okay.
Wow.
What?
So speaking of those, the actual year-to-date on those, I actually shouldn't be speaking of them. Oh, I can't speak of a certain line.
Can you speak of
You
anything?
can speak of them.
Are
With the
you,
exception of 7770.
yeah, you can't.
What's 7770?
Oh,
77, so the remaining balance in 7770 is $216 and change. That's the fire community training.
But what I'm saying
Oh,
is,
Yeah, I think
oh,
you have
they've
to,
all, so these are all,
yeah, you can't talk on that
yeah,
one.
not specifically on that one, I'm just looking at the actual, so everybody has been,
Take it.
except for the first page here, Samaritans.
The Samaritans didn't take out? Like,
Hold on.
I think we had to chase them.
Year-to-date actual, remaining balance 0, so they all did.
So they all took their
Yeah,
money.
that's what I'm trying to, yeah. It was on 2 pages, so I had to look twice.
in other years, it's
But I
been,
will give you a list of what they actually asked for, instead of what I leveled them out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unfair to do that to them.
I remember from years past that we used to have to chase, I mean, even that one year in the budget committee, we had to chase people down. We got money out of
So I know Mary Lou and Jeannie, I see, were very good at trying to contact them.
And municipal capital time payments, that's pretty. So principal payments for,
So it's basically
we're
all
still
the-
Fort Barton,
Yep.
THS, Ranger refinanced, capital repairs for Becasset refinanced in the library bond.
So it went down slightly, I mean, but
Yeah.
that's based on,
Right.
that's based on the lease payment we have with them for the bonds.
A good chunk of interest came down.
And we paid off the DPW plows in 2023, right? Yeah.
So, and if we do that, see how I put 100,000 for the lot, that'll come out. I'll now take that out.
Right.
No, I thought I put in a new,
No, that's for
you
the
have
other
engine
ladder.
one
no, I
new,
put in FD fire new, one of.
right,
Okay.
1/10 payment,
I'll take
All
that
right.
out, all right? So-
Right,
depending on what we do, yeah.
depending on what we do. We've never just bought something outright, but that was
No, but that's.
That was some of our
that's really
intention,
what we've been
so
trying
there
to get
wouldn't
to.
be loans and it wouldn't affect the tax
Exactly.
rate.
But I think that,
We just have to look at
I
it.
just think that when that ladder truck came up, it was, I think, the first year. And we
Right.
just
Right,
had so
and we-
many requests and we were just
Well,
trying
that
to.
year we gave the schools like 2 million because
Right,
they had to do
right.
the, so, yeah. But that's always been kind of our intention, so if we
Yeah.
could do it this year, it'd be great.
We can also
And-
look and see what money's in municipal as well.
And
Yeah.
cut out all of that interest.
Yeah.
It'll be a
I'll
huge,
have Denise give me a
huge
breakdown.
tax savings.
Anything else while we're here? Just to let you know, in preparation for April 27th meeting, I've been in contact with the school committee chairman because we still have not gotten the numbers we requested. The budget committee did get actuals for last year, which Mike Janick has sent to Chris. It went out, it went out to everybody, but everything else we've requested has not come in as of yet. I've been told it's coming. And then next week, you all have what I gave you all. My agenda requests, so those are the ones we're talking about for next week. I gave you that at the last meeting. But if you need another one, I can give you another one.
So we'll have it revised, add those.
And we'll have to
associated
revised.
Boards and commissions, the fire truck issue, the gaming part of it.
And then we'll talk to Mike about the different things that, Mike Marcello,
So the other thing I wanted to ask you, if you want to put on your agenda next week, would be an executive session about Teamsters.
Well, that'll be, oh, you want to do that right away on next week?
Yeah,
On
the
Saturday.
quicker we get that done, the quicker
All
I
right.
can get that transferred to the,
Yeah, put it there somewhere. Next week might go a little longer than till 12, but we'll try.
Start at 8?
Well, because it's a long agenda, but we can switch through it. I hope not. I mean, I have to be somewhere too.
if it goes like today, it'll go.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what's on the agenda.
Oh, because it's police and fire,
Oh.
you know, it's police and fire, then we're gonna talk casino. I'm just thinking that we're gonna reach that 12 o'clock mark, definitely.
Yeah,
All right, well,
We did cover a lot today.
we did pretty good today. Thank you all for coming.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion been made second, all those in favor? I thought you were gonna say something else before I adjourned.